allow the two children to handle the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind. Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey supposed talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dé dodo.
This one na Senator.
Làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dé dodo.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us at this moment. It is Maiyegun's brunch time or brunch time with Maiyegun live. You are welcome to the Cow Republic, by the way. I mean, Cow Republic, by the way. Some of you might think that with the exits of Bokwari, this issue of trying to legitimize terrorism of Fulani terrorists, nationalizing what is meant to be a personal business, it did not end with Bokwari. thiefnubu like he promised. Like thiefnubu promised. It would continue from wherever Bokwari stopped. And now the debate about the Cow Republic, the Fulani Republic of Nigeria, FRN, continues.
And yes,
read the caption of the broadcast, read the description if you haven't already. Like it. That is your own offering. Like the broadcast. Then share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them Maiyegun Mawi, Anie Suraki, Maiyegun today. This is the moment that so many of the Templars will agree. Nigeria is a zoo. Among all of the troubling problems facing Nigeria, we were discussing the rights of cows. 65 million cows versus 200 million mumus. Debating if they should pay the workers more or not. thiefnubu has signed, the Nigerian Senate, they have passed the thiefnubu's request to increase the salaries of judges in Nigeria by 300%. Therefore, the Chief Justice of Nigeria will now be earning between 65 million naira and 125 million naira a year from 15 million, from between 15 million and 25 million. thiefnubu has increased their salary to over 100 million, Chief Justice of Nigeria. So motivation, anyway, good morning to you once again, and afternoon to you, depends on the time you are joining us, okay? It is brunch time with Maiyegun, and the brunch time with Maiyegun is in two parts, okay? The first part is to kind of give you the taste of the new or recent developments inside that contraption, Nigeria. A snippet, an appetizer for what is still to come. The second part is where we read from this historical piece. Okay? I think I have loads of gist for you this afternoon that I hope we would have a time. We will have time to actually read book. Today, I would want to read book. I want to. But let's first deal with this quickly. Within that available time. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria is going through hell. But there is something they say about going through hell. They said you should keep going because there is no point in turning back. Okay? At the end of the day, the Golgotha that they are taking everybody to, you know, the cliff that they are pushing everybody to, once it tumbles, right? Just like going through hell, there will be no going back. You see the trajectory that they are taking Nigeria, the criminals in charge of Nigeria, the trajectory is that of a trajectory of destruction, ruin. And they seems to be so convinced it is actually the best way out. So follow them. That Nigeria will break or scatter is not because you want it or because you don't want it. It is solely going to be based on the actions and inactions of these rogues who have all of the leverages. They have the power. Nigeria is going through what many countries, if any country kind of pass through what Nigeria or Nigerians are going through right now, una go down the year pray for Nigeria is a place where the criminals in charge and their collaborators, their enablers, they have managed to keep the Nigerians more or less like conquered people or captured people. However, these captured people, most of them seem like helpless. They cannot help themselves. And that gives some level of power to those who seems to have captured them. And therefore, they can do whatever they like. And because they can do whatever they like, in fact, they are doing whatever they like. is why Nigeria is going to break up. Okay? It is not because of your prayer, for or against. These rogues are unrepentant, unpatriotic criminals ever in the history of mankind. You can never hate your own country this much like these rogues you have in Nigeria. They are so insensitive. They are so distant to the same people they are supposed to be making laws for or leading. That's how much the reality of Nigeria today is. And to manage your heartbreak is why you have to watch Maiyegun Diary Politico, so that you can understand what you are up against. And at the same time, you can understand where you belong. Also, you can even understand far much better how to tackle what is coming. But if you choose to be among those who continue to live in denial, oh, Benny, you are just making noise. Every day, talk. You are living in denial. It is not just talk. This platform is to remind you of your hypocrisy, of your, compatibility, including your involvement in what is still to become the broken Nigeria. That's what this platform is meant for. A platform that will help you to stop lying to yourself about Nigeria. You can hate me, you can say all manner of things, but when you are by yourself, majority of what you are going to hear on Maiyegun's Diary Politico will continue to echo under your head, which is the truth. The rogues in charge of Nigeria, they are far off from the hardship that their actions, policies have unleashed on Nigerians. And it has gotten to a stage whereby the Nigeria criminal politicians, from the local government level to state governors, as well as to your National Assembly and your president, the executive, they seem to feel like they're actually doing you a favor at this point. Because every now and then they will tell you, whatever you are going through in Nigeria, the rest of the world is going through it too. It is not peculiar to Nigeria. Don't let anybody make you dislike your leaders. Inflation is affecting the world. Joblessness is affecting the world. Terrorism all over the world. Because the criminals in charge of Nigeria are so confident that they are talking to idiots, people living under the rock. They will lie to you. Then they will come back, deny the lie, and then rely again. Because they feel like there will be no consequences. But that doesn't mean that they are not scared of what you are going to do with the information you are going to know about them. All of these things you know about them. What are you going to do about it? They are worried. And that is why when, people are dying of hunger, people are losing their jobs, falling into poverty every now and then. People are falling into the hands of, hardened, state-sponsored terrorists in Nigeria. Nigerians are being mortgaged like commodity. Terrorists are negotiating if you want your people alive or not. This is the state of Nigerians. All of these are not concerning to these rogues. Okay? But they are always majoring in minors and minoring in majors. They always, pick on the low priorities and they make them so serious. Why the country burn? Then they will then turn around and start praising themselves for doing a great job. Oh, Mr. President is doing a very wonderful job. We have done a Keneko job. This is like mockery. And you see that all the time. If I want to start a business of a grocery business, I have 2 places to go. 3 places I will go to for funding. Personal savings. Maybe family and friends support, raising the fund for me. Or I just go to the bank. And it is the same for every business, I think, except for cow business. And mind you, cow business exists before the advent of APC. They have always been bringing and transporting nama all over Nigeria. And there's never been any problem until APC came in and they started arming the Fulani terrorists. Not just, according to them from the onset, they said the terrorists, the Fulani terrorists that are destroying farms in Ekiti, the terrorists that are killing farmers in Oyo, all the terrorists that are killing farmers in Ogun State, they were not Nigerians. They were from Chad, Niger. They even said they were from Libya. How they managed to enter Nigeria and deep into the southern part of Nigeria were the reasons why we suspected that this is a state-sponsored terrorism. And we were right. We were right. For any act of terrorism, of raising up arms, according to them, picking up arms against the state is an act of terrorism, right? But the Fulani terrorists were killing our people, and they said they were not Nigerians. And because of that, we should stop calling them Fulani terrorists, because there are Fulanis in Nigeria, and they feel offended. They felt offended that we're calling them terrorists. We shouldn't call those people are not Nigerians. Oh, really? Okay. Then let us face the Nigerian defense. Hello? How did these guys get in? Get rid of them. Treat them as terrorists as they are. And then we can know that it is not the Fulani from Sokoto, not the Fulani from Kelbi, not the Fulani from maybe Kano, or Fulani from Borono that are killing our people in southern Nigeria. This was way back in 2016, the genesis. But some of us suspected this was a state-sponsored terrorism, and it was going to get bigger. We were right. The next thing, these terrorists, government of APC, then they started asking us to choose between our lives or our land. They started making laws on how to cede lands to Fulani terrorists in southern part of Nigeria by design. Northern part of Nigeria actually controls, if you had the middle belt and so, the northern part that way, right? They control over 70% of the land mass in Nigeria. Southern part of Nigeria, we barely control, or we barely have 29% of the land mass. But surprisingly, now people will get small land mass were supposed to sacrifice. You see, the Fulani governors from northern Nigeria, the Fulani senators, lawmakers in Abuja, plus the Fulani as old rock at the time, they started blackmailing the rest of Nigeria. How can you be blackmailing Nigerians for Chadians? They are terrorists. You said they are not Nigerians. How could you be now? No, they are Nigerians. Listen. The problem is not that they are Chadians. The problem is that climate change. Climate change is making it difficult for them to feed their cows. And that's why they need land. You've been serious. If climate change is not bringing rain, then use your money and build your own small, irrigation system. People shouldn't die or lose their livelihood because you want to placate these armed terrorists. I'm giving you this background, or this was the genesis of what has now become national conversation in Nigeria. It has now become the Fulani terrorists versus Nigerians. This is why I told you there is no real Nigerian. Telling people that you are a proud Nigerian, you are just a deceiver, deceiving yourself. In reality, there's nobody that is real Nigerian. In Nigeria, the supposed terrorists, right? They have rights more than the supposed citizens. That is the state of Nigeria. It got so bad that even when they were ransacking the middle belt part of Nigeria, killing and leaving bodies in their trail, we were not supposed to talk about them. Calling them Fulani terrorists makes the Fulanis, who are not terrorists, upset. And for us to resolve the whole thing, the best is to give them our land. Or else, we should create a cattle colony for them. Or we should bring back grazing routes in 2024. But all of this, they even went as far as trying to make law. They called it Waterway Bill, which would give the control, not just the control of all the waters in Nigeria, to the federal government of Nigeria. It will also give the land from the bank of the water 10 miles. That is about 15 kilometers land from the bank of every water in any part of Nigeria will now be owned by the government of Nigeria, which was planning to actually allocate land for Fulani herdsmen. And the Fulani terrorists were sent to kill all of us for disagreeing with them. I did not see the Igbo spare parts dealer pulling together his fellow Igbos, arm them with AK-47, RPG, and begin to kill the people of Sokoto, Kano, Kerbi, Jigawa, Adamawa, and start killing people there and say they want, because they want their own mechanic village, or they want their own spare parts village. I have not seen the Yorubas put together their fellow Yorubas, arm them with guns, ammunition, and the rest of that, and begin to kidnap the people of northern Nigeria, simply because we need land. We need land to build for our own, call it, what can we say we want to build, though, that we need land, though? Amala joint, the business. A franchise of Amala joint in northern Nigeria, or we want to start the pig farm in northern Nigeria. We need to have plenty proteinous food. So pig, we need pig. We want to rear pigs in northern Nigeria. And we know that majority of them will never give us land to rear pig. So we started kidnapping and started killing people from different communities. And they said, why are you killing people here, Yorubas? Because they won't let us have land for pigs. But Igbos, why are you killing people here now? Because they won't let us have our own mechanic village. We need mechanic village. Nigeria must give us mechanic village in northern Nigeria. There was nothing like that, except the Fulanis who need ranch. They need grazing routes. They need water for their cows. And suddenly, this became a national problem where people have died. Fulani terrorists alone have killed over 68,000 Nigerians in the last 8 years alone. That's a fact. 68,000 Nigerians. They will come on their bikes. They no longer come on with cows. But the Nigerian politicians who knows that these armed Fulani terrorists, they are not. They call it farmers' others clashes. But now only the farmers and the villages, they die. We know they see the others. Their newspaper in Nigeria will tell you 78 people killed, 190 injured in the farmers and others clashes in Jos. So when you go there, you don't go see any other that die. Now only the farmers and his family will they die because there was no farmers others. The organized terrorists, their plan is no longer to, they can't wage war to use their sword to touch the water or use their Quran to touch the water in the southern part of Nigeria, the ocean in Yoruba land. They no longer have to use that anymore. They have weak men and women whose political affiliation is more important to them to look away and decide, instead of actually calling on their own security agents and all of that, to rout down these criminals and treat them as terrorists as they are, they were making laws in Nigeria to placate them. They said we should learn how to live with our neighbors. So the National Assembly now are discussing a bill that they called ban on open grazing. But they don't like that. They are Fulani lawmakers. Because the cows also have rights. That's what they are saying in the National Assembly. Cows have rights. In Nigeria, Nigerians cannot survive without eating cows. Cows must have rights. And that is why we must create the ranching for the Fulanis in order to have peace in Nigeria. Baba, we must use the taxpayers' money, okay, and take people's land and build ranches, build school, build hospitals in order to placate our murderers at the National Assembly. That is that Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. So I will take you down there. It's mental. I just want you to listen and hear what and who is saying what. Okay. So yeah, at the end of the day, the problem still comes back to how are they going to take the land? Because even the Land Use Act, that fraudulent act that Obasanjo enacted in 1977-78, Land Use Act, has been used by the Fulani power mongers, jihadists, and their collaborators to think that Nigerian government actually have control over people's land in Nigeria. Up to this moment, there is no single northern state, not a single Fulani governor or associate anywhere in northern Nigeria has successfully built a Ruga to show to us. I keep saying this, I've been saying it for years. They want the southern Nigeria, the Yorubas, the Igbos, to see their land for Ruga. They brought in terrorism to eastern part of Nigeria. And today, I saw some of them arguing between themselves on Twitter yesterday. Some are saying that it is the IPOB, hang on, they said, the terrorism in eastern Nigeria, the escalated insecurity in eastern Nigeria is associated with IPOB. There are some Igbos who believe that, especially those one Nigerianists, okay? And the argument is that every act of criminality in eastern part of Nigeria is linked. There are those who believe that it's linked to the IPOB. There's nothing you can tell them. Oh, some couple were going for a wedding and they were killed. IPOB. The prison break in Owerri. Look at how they broke the prison in Owerri. IPOB. So, and I have seen some other people kind of calling them out that you guys are so stupid. You continue to re-echo the exact narrative that they have actually schemed over time and then edge into your mind. And somehow, because of your own sort of bias against the IPOB, you wanted to see them bad anyway. So then they are bad. But critically actually looking at all these developments as they unfolded, right, is such a big job for some of these mofos, especially some of these mofo Igbos that continue to, gaslight themselves. In case if they don't know, let me explain that to you. Because of this Ruga or no Ruga, ladies and gentlemen, the scheming to bring in Hopeless Uzodimba as the governor of Imo was part of that scheme. That scheme of bringing Devulumayi to APC was part of that scheme. Devulumayi, after meeting Nnamdi Kanu and asking that what is it that we can do to kind of reduce this agitation and all of that, there was no single harassment in eastern part of Nigeria. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu was very sort of direct, to the point that Nnamdi Kanu is being hated by what he said, not what he did. To the point that it has gotten to a stage that they have to create what Nnamdi Kanu says in order to match what he said, and say, Shebi he said it. Shebi he said that you should go after those soldiers. Shebi he said that if the policemen come after you, go after them during NSAS. Who did not say that? How many of you can remember how many people who actually said if they come for you, go for them, defend yourself and all of that? But here is something. They wanted land in eastern part of Nigeria. They wanted to situate the Aruga, and they got the weak men of eastern Nigeria to do the job for them very well. They met with Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu gave them 12 demands. In all these demands, 100% is basically about good governance. The Igbos cannot trust the security system in Nigeria. You, the Igbo governors here and the leaders here, you should look into setting up the Igbo security outfit that will protect our people on their farms, that will protect our people in their homes. Invest more in providing electricity for the people of eastern Nigeria to reduce the emigration of our young ones out of Igbo land. This was part of his demand. There was no way he wanted anything for himself. So what did Devulumayi, what did he do? He went on and he said, if IPOB is not going to play ball, he will create a parallel ESN. He will create a parallel IPOB. He will create a parallel ESN in eastern part of Nigeria if Nnamdi Kanu is playing hard to get. Now, the rest is history today. They have managed to kind of create a false narrative that every wrong that goes on in eastern Nigeria is so convenient to blame it on IPOB. While in Ebonyi, they were cutting out land for Ruga. In Imo states, they were killing the people in Olu, in Osu. They were calling them the base of IPOB. But yet, that's the story. Base of IPOB ESN, Olu, Osu, in Imo states. But what they are not telling you is that there are thousands of acres of land that have been now graded to become the Imo State Ruga for Fulani. The people in those communities protested. They did not want to give up their land. Don't give our land to our killers. What did they do? They sent the soldiers after them. They said they were supporters of IPOB. They were IPOB based. They killed them, bombed their villages. And today, Ruga settlements are being built in Imo State. In Enugu State, they are using the name of Enugu government to build Ruga for Fulani. These are the weak men that have now allowed and make it easier for those who promise to dip their Quran, dip their own sword of blood in our sea when they have killed all of us. They couldn't even come far. They couldn't even break the belt in the middle belt of Nigeria before they killed Uthman Dan Fodio, the terrorist, their great-grandfather. Now we have weak men in southern Nigeria that will do the job for them conveniently. They will set you up, set everybody up. Where the Yorubas, not those who are screaming that Igbo must be killed. Nobody sending message, killing. Is a this, is a that. Yorubas who bought the propaganda too. But we are still waiting on the Yoruba governors to be bold enough and coin a name of their own Ruga that they will create. At the National Assembly level, they were having a chat about it. Let's go there. Take a, listen, this is the first part.
Permit me to lead the debate on the bill for an act to regulate animal husbandry and ranches establishment as an antidote for the perennial violent clashes between sedentary farmers and nomadic herders in Nigeria. Mr. President, that erupt from pastoralists and farmers' interaction in Nigeria, which have assumed a warlike dimension with far-reaching negative impact on the people and the country as a whole. As stakeholders in the Nigerian project and elected representatives of the people, we cannot afford to look on while the country burns into ashes as a result of violent clashes between sedentary farmers and nomadic herders. Doing so would amount to abdication of our statutory and leadership responsibilities. The menace of farmers and herders crisis can easily be cured through a legislative therapy banning open grazing in Nigeria. My dear colleagues, historically, farmers-herders conflicts date back to pre-colonial times. However, these violent conflicts have become more severe, intense, and frequent in recent decades due to a number of factors, which include, but not limited to, the following: population pressure, climate change, livestock mobility and marketability, absence of laws on pastoralism, inefficient conflict management mechanisms, proliferation of arms and urbanization, etc. Reports have it that since 2016, more than 4,000 lives have been lost as a result of farmers-herders conflicts. Also, over 5 million people have been displaced, particularly in the Middle Belt region and other parts of northern Nigeria. With dwindling productivity in crops production and herds, this conflict has reportedly cost Nigeria an average of $3.5 million, or 47% of its internally generated revenues. The effect of herders-farmers conflicts and its implication on food security in Nigeria is already staring us in the face as a result of high cost of food items, which is almost becoming out of the reach of the common man. Whereas other countries with huge farmers and herders populations, including Mauritania, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, have passed pastoral laws and codes which have helped to mitigate the incidence of clashes between sedentary farmers and nomadic herders. This situation is unfortunately treated with kid gloves in Nigeria. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, you will observe that the converging dynamics of demography, technology, and urbanization have collectively complicated the hitherto simple and fraternal relationship between our local farmers and nomadic pastoralists. There is an unprecedented increase in the number of farmers who need more portions of land to farm, and herds with larger herds of cattle who also need more space for grazing, whereas land is fixed. Mr. President, the absence of a regulatory framework or legislation on pastoralism and livestock mobility generally has created a chaotic scenario of survival of the fittest between sedentary farmers and nomadic herders in Nigeria. My dear colleagues, this is not acceptable.
Nuisance, Lele.
You hear all of that? So that was them introducing, and mind you, something that should have been trashed from the word go. They continue to entertain it, and this is now at a second reading. And I think they've passed it as well. You need to know the details of what they passed. But the debate here is another person who was also contributed rather, Abaribe.
A disintegration of our lives,
through the incessant herder-farmer clash, destruction of plants and all that by those. And indeed, that has also led to the invasion of Nigeria by those who call themselves herders but are not Nigerian citizens. I recall, as a member of this Senate, that this bill at a particular time was also introduced on the floor of this Senate by Senator Kwankwaso. I recall also the problem that was following the debate, and that problem is what we will need to tackle if we have to get to the nitty-gritty of this bill. While I agree that now is the time for us to stop open grazing, it also means that this is also the time for us to take another look at the law that makes land to be in the hands of states. Because there's no way you are going to be able to establish a ranch in a state if the state government says that they don't want it. I'm glad that Senator Zam has said that those who are sedentary, in states of origin of the herders, should be able to establish ranches. And of course, he has also given us the costing. But in order to do this, we must go back and look at the law. Because if we don't deal with that law, merely asking people to go, if they want to establish ranch, to now go and talk with those. No one owns land. It's the state governments that own land. That means that even if you agree with the owners or settlers or a community or that, if the state government does not give its consent, then it means that you will not be able to go forward with it. So as we consider this, I also want us to look at the Land Use Act as an impediment to this particular very wonderful bill, to ensure that we can get and put to rest this matter of herder-farmer clash. And I can see why. And I want to also recall to all my colleagues that at a particular time, the former governor of Kano State, Ganduje, suggested to everyone that he has enough land in Kano State for all the herders in Nigeria to come and graze. But of course, what happened is that some people are using these herders and all that to destabilize this country. Just 2 weeks ago, I was at home in my own local government in Obingwa, far down in the southern part of Nigeria in Abia State. Some women came to me and said that the herders were bringing their cows to finish up all their planted, and that there's nothing they can do. That even when they come there, they will threaten them that they are going to kill and maim, and there's nothing they can do about it. They wanted for me to do something about it. So I had to go to the local government chairman and said, let's go and see the DPO and let us, and they had to go to plead with those herders. That is the extent to which this has reached. Everyone in Nigeria, if you go from the west to the coast, all the way up to the middle belt, and you go up to the north, farmers are under threat. And what it has led to is the food crisis.
The food crisis in Nigeria. Let's take a look at it this way. That is Nigerian House of Senate, or the Senate. discussing how or if a ranch should be set up for Fulanis that are killing farmers because of their cows. And every now and then I continue to sort of ask myself, do you need law? Like national law to help people to set up ranches? Like, is there no environmental law that guides farming and all those things? Like, if you have farming and agricultural ministry and agriculture ministry and the rest of that, like, if I want to start a farm and I want to make it a ranch, but actually I go approach any community or even the state government, the large scale stuff, right? State government, and buy land from them. And once I pay for that and the rest, then I start my project, my business. The only business that the government will have in my business is because they want to come and collect their taxes. Why are they discussing to ban open grazing or not to ban, when it is actually banned in the southern part of Nigeria anyway? It is because it is Nigeria, the state of the current Nigeria. Unfortunately, you would say. Listen to another guy, Elumelu's brother.
The second reading, I think we must be commended. This issue, I believe, if we handle it with all the seriousness that is deserved, we will begin to see respite in the farmers-herders clashes. But distinguished Senate President, please, we should expand the role of the Commission, not only at establishing ranches. There is need for extension services. There is need for bringing better breeds of cattle. An average cattle of a pastoral Fulani man gives you less than 1 liter of milk a day, as against 30 liters of the hybrid cattle. And this must be taken into consideration if we are going to make it a source of livelihood. Because as it is today, it's just a way of life, not necessarily livelihood for these people. So this is highly commendable, sir. And we need to emphasize, apart, what are the conditions that will give private ranching also the help they needed to go ahead. As you know, everybody is trying to run away from government-funded companies because they are not always being very well managed. We need to consider a way and manner for which private ranchers will be accessed to this commission, and they will get the necessary help for them to expand and establish ranches. Thank you very much, the Senate President. This is a wonderful bill. I hope we live to see it pass into law. Thank you, sir.
The Senate President, my name is Karimi Sunday Steve. I'm from Kogi State. I represent the people of Kogi West. I want to appreciate my colleague, a true son of North Central, for bringing this bill at this time. Mr. President, you know, about 2 weeks ago, you handled something similar to this in a motion, where we call for a national summit. We all know that this is a national problem. It is not just a state problem. It's a problem that is ravaging all over our nation. And we cannot just sit down as responsible parliamentarians without finding a solution to it. Thank you for your able leadership, sir. First of all, in the north, we used to have a cattle route with with open grazing those days. Those cattle routes, they have been taken over by communities. And now, no cattle routes. The cattle, they are all over the place. You will even see them on Abuja Street. You see them all over the place. They enter people's farmland and causing problems all over the country. This bill must be allowed to have its place. We are going to consider this bill appropriately. It's not, all states must be ready to have cattle ranch. You know, the last government, they set up something that they called Rugard, and they gave, some states said they wouldn't go with it, and they rejected it. But when this bill is passed into law, by the time we are doing the public hearing, sir, we are going to invite stakeholders all over the country to ensure that we treat this issue as a national problem. So that all these killings going on all over the place in the name of cattle ranching, in the name of kidnapping, we are going to find a solution to it. We cannot continue like this. This is a responsible government. This government has started well. Previous government, they've not been able to find solution to it. I believe the leadership of National Assembly, headed by you, and the leadership of this country, headed by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will find a solution to this problem. We are going to start with this bill, and we are going to pass it into law by God's grace. Thank you.
But the major thing into the clause by clause consideration of the bill, that we must have public hearing. We must bring in all the stakeholders, the Farmers Association, the Mitiala, and then we must bring in the state governments and all the stakeholders so that everybody will have a say. And we must have a holistic discussion on this. And then also, like Senator the civil senator Baribe pointed out, if they need to tinker with the constitution in terms of the Land Use Act, which is in the constitution, to enable us create a clause that will allow easy
nuisance lele.
Bunch of nuisance and criminals, traitors, all of them. Do you understand what the bill that they call the ban on open grazing that they are debating in the National Assembly is actually all about? Do you? No? Okay. The bill is presented as a bill to ban open grazing. Sounds good? Because that is what you are going to read. Ban on open grazing. But before we ban open grazing, all of the states in Nigeria must be ready to provide land for ranching. So this land that these states are going to provide by law will now be allocated to the cow owners. They don't want to say Fulanis, cow owners. So that instead of them pushing their cows all over your farms, we just keep the farms on the land, the ranch, provided by your state. That is what is buried in that nonsense. Ban on open grazing, but give land to Fulani before we ban it. By law, you must give land. How many of you remember when Bokwari shared over 60 billion naira among some states in Nigeria to go and set up Ruga? How many of you remember that Oples Uzodimba, Devulumayi, and this guy from Enugu, what's that guy? Buruburu. What's the guy from Enugu, the former guy before this guy? I forgot his name, right? Devulumayi, Oples Uzodimba, at least those three, collected over 10 billion naira. That is over $12 million from Boko Haram. I don't know if you remember, to go and set up ranches and all of that in their states. And that is why those of you who are self-hating Igbos, I do not feel sorry for you, honestly. It is just so unfortunate that there are other ignorant Igbos who are ignorantly celebrating the escalated insecurity in Eastern Nigeria, thinking those criminals that are committing that act of criminality in Eastern Nigeria, that are making it convenient for this their criminal sponsors, right, to blame it on IPOB, if it's always convenient for you. So if you continue to believe that the government of Nigeria is not involved, the government of Eastern Nigeria is not involved in the escalated insecurity in Eastern Nigeria, then I kind of will see you as one of these self-hating Igbos, and there are many. Let us say the truth. You don't know the atrocities of this IPOB. If you know what this ESN is doing, if you know Kiniko, say, oh, really? That means that they are getting, I mean, they are actually getting the criminals, the criminal politicians in Eastern Nigeria and their collaborative Fulani from Abuja, they must be getting real value for the money that they are spending on propaganda. If you hate yourself so much that all you believe is what they told you, right? But again, it is what it is, right? 10 billion. Enugu is building ranches now. Oples Uzodingba is already building his own Ruga. In Ebonyi, they've already allocated land for Ruga as well. So let us ban open grazing. National Assembly ban open grazing, but states must give Ruga. Wait till the Wahala before. Is all of this grammar, all these jargons they are speaking? Is it not, I mean, and the disagreement that we have been having, is it not because we said we will not give our land to those who are killing us, who will not buy land? You should buy it. Cattle business is a private business. Fulanis should not be given any special treatment. They should be punished for committing act of terrorism in Nigeria. All of those terrorists should never, for any reason, if there's any conversation around the terrorism in Nigeria perpetrated by the Fulani terrorists in Nigeria, it should be out to punish and then prosecute them, not out to reward them or placate them. And that's why you can see all these clowns are so detached from reality. So a few of them were reminding them, we need to get the governors. We need the governors, we need the state government to agree with this. This is going to be the perfect solution. They came with grazing routes. They said people are built on the grazing route. Like Fulani had grazing routes to graze their cows on people's land. Fulanis used to move their cows past this area. So this land, cutting across all of these tribes and ethnic nationalities, all this land, yes, they may be your land, but listen, the cows have walked on those land. And the cows are God in this cow republic. I am from Ekiti. I don't have any relationship with the Fulani. But somebody is going to tell me that my forefathers' land was once passed and trekked on or grazed on by the Fulani and therefore me, I have to honor that. How dare you go there and start farming? You don't know, say Fulani need to pass this place. This is what they are pushing. And that's why people said no. Then they changed it. Rural grazing area. Ruga. That was Pastor Ruga who brought that idea. Rural grazing area. That's the solution. We just create some areas. Those areas, we just make sure that the Fulanis and their cows, they should be comfortable there. Pastor Ruga we fired him until they dropped it. These Olori Brukus went again to bring waterway bill. Waterway bill that will automatically give the federal government of Nigeria the power to take not only the waterways in Nigeria, but 10 miles 15-kilometer land from the river bank will become that of federal government. They wanted to use that to settle the Fulani terrorists next to the rivers, so that their cows can drink water. People are mounting Okada, they are mounting bikes, slaughtering people in their villages, in their sleep. And you are still calling that farmers others clashes. See, we are waiting for the Yoruba governor that is going to first launch one. Okay? We will wait for that first Yoruba governor that is going to allocate land in Yoruba land. Okay? And then it will come out and say, oh, your state government ranching this. So that we can know what to tell the people about you, about your family, and everything you stand for. You might have been doing all things, so sure you get all these things you have been doing. But the day you allocate land for these terrorists to placate them in any part of Yoruba land, we know you can do it. So I know you can do it. We are just waiting for you to announce. I'm going to wait for the first person, the first governor in Yoruba land, okay? That is going to say, oh yeah, for the ranching, Ogun State ranching branch, or your state ranching branch, we know what you are hiding. We know what to tell our people. We will tell them who you are. We will tell them about your family, your children, all right? We will tell them what you stand for. We will tell them what your family stand for. You stand for the destruction of our people, the killings of our people. And you might have been contributing to this in a while, but that will be the final. Yeah, it's going to be a next game for everyone. Placating terrorists. Let me take a break. I'll tell you more about that later because I've got a few other stuff I want to share with you. You know, we're not done. No. There's so much discussion on it that we're still having. I have some of those clips here. What they said about the cows in the cow republic of Nigeria. But when we say Nigeria is a crime scene, it is not because we hate Nigeria. When I say we, I'm gonna give me 1 sec. When I say we, I'm talking about majority. Okay, give me a sec. Nigeria is a crime scene because the criminals in Nigeria, Nigeria is a place where if you get punished, for your crime, it is not because of that crime per se. It is because of maybe the category of people you belong to. So if you belong to the categories that protect their fellow rogues, then you'll be considered as safe from all prosecutions, like that of the Fulani terrorists in Nigeria. So that's a Kogi senator. How many of you remember how some of these Lagos Abobakus, as well as all these voluntary slaves, want to slaughter Peter Obi for giving them boreholes in northern Nigeria? Look at the kind of borehole. So that man on your screen, right, is from Kogi, a senator. And he donated, he constructed as his constituency project this borehole for his people. And this is a man that is expected to walk home in a year with a take-home pay of over 600 million naira. He is personally going to receive over 400 million naira for constituency projects alone. But that's the guy there. And then his constituency projects in a shithole. That's somebody who is collecting millions, hundreds of it, right? And somebody who uses his own personal money to provide water that guys like that will never provide for, right? But it doesn't matter. Let's go to this. Nigeria is a crime scene. It is not an understatement. I mean, it is not an understatement. It is a statement of facts. So there is this young man. I shared a video with us 2 days ago when there is a young man who was crying for help, asking the government asking the government of Bayelsa State, the governor, to please save him and help him from a bank manager. Okay, there is a bank manager according to him, right, that want to kill him simply because they used his own bank account, okay, to steal, or sorry, to loot, to steal a lot of money. And that got his account blocked. And they wanted him to go there and claim and say the money is legit. He said he has no relationship with them. But now, because he's refusing to go, he's calling on the government or the EFCC to investigate these guys, blowing the whistle on the crime. Now, he is wanted to be killed. Now, he tells his story here, and I kind of want to share that. You judge.
My name is Joshua Akbawangene O2. I'm doing this video today because I don't know what might come tomorrow. I'm not afraid of death, but I'm afraid that when I die, the truth might not be unveiled, like the case of Mohbad. I'm just a victim of circumstances that needs to go through the spout. I want the world to know that my soul will not rest if the truth is not unveiled. But I believe that evil is powerless when good men are not afraid to speak the truth. If you take me to die for this truth, so be it. I die. This is exactly 2 months I left my home because of the information I got. My life is in danger. I've been trying to reach out to everybody I think might share my story. I call on the Bayelsa State Governor, His Excellency, Senator Doye Diri. I call on the Commissioner of Police of Bayelsa State. I call on the Inspector General of Police. I call on the EFCC Chairman. And I also call upon Mr. President, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, to come to my aid and come to my rescue. My life is in danger because of information I got about the money laundering case going on in Bayelsa State. My life is in danger. I'm calling to all Nigerians. My life is in danger. Please come to my aid. Come to my rescue. Come to my aid. Come to my rescue. I don't want to die like Mohbad. I want the truth to prevail. I want justice to stand. I want justice to prevail. Justice must prevail. The truth must be told. Let truth prevail. Nigerians, let truth prevail. Let truth prevail. I call on my leader. You're the only one I rely on at this moment. About 2 years ago, one Mr. Quincy Gabriel Vigoraye came to me and told me he needed to get the land. I met Quincy Vigoraye. Most people know Kontiki in Yenegua. We even formed this football group called 700 Gang. Yeah. He told me he needed a land that should scout for land for him. I said, okay, I'll do just that. But I told him he's going to pay me, normal agent fee, which he agreed. Myself and one Philemon Zigoni, we actually helped him, and eventually got a land, but he didn't pay us. The supposed fee, he ought to pay us. So I was upset with him. I stopped talking to him because that was not the true character of a friend. So he left Yenegua and relocated to Port Harcourt. Yeah. So I had to reach out to him I think a year later, I needed to do so. I needed to do a course at Shaki's Marital Academy, so I needed a place to stay. So I reached out to him and I begged him if he could allow me to stay for some time. He agreed. So 2 months ago, he came to Bayelsa and told me that we will relocate to Port Harcourt, to abroad. I was like, congratulations. I was like, bro, at least forget me if you go. I'm your guy. See, things are difficult. Things are hard. I explained to him, I told him my challenges and what I've been going through. He told me not to worry. He's going to help me. So, on the 13th of April, he told me that he's traveling, that I should come to his house in Port Harcourt to get my bag, because I had some clothes left. Because most times I go there, I stay.
I want him to get to the story. Okay? But it doesn't really feel good to see a man crying like that. Like, brace up, man. Like, oh, I want you to hear the rest of the story. How his life came under the danger. He is now asking the thiefnubu and others to save him.
Most people in here, they go and think he's my brother. He's not my brother. I don't even know where he's from. I've been good to everybody. I don't discriminate. Everybody knows me. Those who know me. He called me and told me if I have a Pampio OP account. I said, I have an OP account. He sent me 2 million. I thanked him. I told him that at least I can start a business with this. I thanked him. I saw him as a consent, and he was like, since I didn't pay you guys now, that land, I didn't pay you. I know you're upset with me, okay. At least I don't say to you. I was very happy. I thanked him. I thanked him so much. I came to worry. Thinking of starting a spice business. He sent me that money. I think a week thereabout, I was trying to make a transaction. It wasn't going through. I saw a message by OP that my account has been restricted, that one abnormal transaction was carried out, that this sender, I know the sender did fraud, that I can appeal so they can remove the restriction from the account. So I appealed. They rejected it. So I called OP. When I called OP, they told me that Quincy Obigorai was involved in a fraudulent act. That's the reason my account has been restricted. So I quickly reached out to him. I said, guy, what's up? What's going on? Oh, now, bro, tell me now. See, this is the challenge I've been having. He didn't reach out to me. He didn't respond. Not until he sent, I saw a message he sent on his WhatsApp. I said, immediately I saw the message, I screenshotted the message, and I called him. Number wasn't going through, so I called him on WhatsApp. I said, guy, what is going on? Tell me. Don't put me in the dark now. What is going on? Tell me. And I said that his girlfriend one gift. I don't know the surname of the gift. That the gift is going out with one one pade wire, something like that pade, and the pade has been using gifts account for money laundering. The money goes into the account and money comes out of the account. That gift happened to show him the account, so he removed the money from gift's account. That's the major reason my account has been restricted. I told him immediately that I will report him to the EFCC, which I have a screenshot of that, evidence of that. That I will report him to the EFCC. And I also told him that I will reach out to the EFCC. I sent a mail to the EFCC No response. Immediately I shows gift happened to show him the account, so he removed the money from gift's account. That's the major reason my account has been restricted. I told him immediately that I will report him to the EFCC, which I have a screenshot of that, evidence of that I will report him to the EFCC. And I also told him that I will reach out to the EFCC. I sent a mail to the EFCC. No response. Immediately I did that. 2 days later, some men came to attack me. I managed to escape for my life. I've left my home now for 2 months. I don't know what is going on. Some men came to attack me. I managed to escape. If not for the Creator, I managed to escape. I don't know what is going on. People help me. Nigerians help me. Amani told me that one Mr. Badeware, the manager of Globus Bank, is involved in money laundering. I don't want to die. Please help me. I'm calling on my leader to help me.
You heard the story now. He was looking for help. Then he met an old friend. And this old friend that he sort of bunked with, right? Then came to him and said, okay, I will help you. And then he gave him his bank account details. This friend sent him 2 million naira. He was so happy that he planned to start a business with that money. Unknowing to him is that his own bank account has actually been used to carry out money laundering operation involving a Globus branch manager, a bank manager, supposedly maybe a microfinance bank manager. The bank, the bank that he used their detail, that he has, has details with, restricted his bank accounts and asked him to appeal that a fraud was carried out on his account. Now he did what is right. He called the guy and the guy confessed that, yeah, we were doing all of that, but it's okay, don't worry. So he decided to never get himself involved. So he sent an email to the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC in Nigeria. And he said 2 days after he sent that email, 2 guys came to attack him, but he managed to escape. And he has been living in hiding for the past 2 months because the purpose is to actually get him killed. And he is pointing at this friend. So the young man is there and is calling on those who can please reach out to help. And as you are watching this, I do believe probably he's getting the help he needs. That is Nigeria. And then he kept crying, I don't want to die like Mohbad. I hope I'm not going to see the breaking news that he's dead. Because that is what Nigeria is, sadly. And then when Nigeria put money together to say among all the problems of Nigeria and call, they will sponsor people to Mecca to go and pray for Nigeria so that all the Nigerian problems can be gone. Unfortunately, they say even your best friend gets a best friend. Sure, you know. Say your best friend has another best friend. That one to get another best friend. So you have to hold your side. You have to know yourself. Know yourself very well. Because as the government is planning to send, using the people going to Mecca to siphon money, steal money, 90 billion naira. And some other state governments too, right? To the tune of, Nigeria actually spent like state government plus federal government, okay? They put money together. The total money that they used in sponsoring people to Mecca in this 2024 was put at over 200 billion naira, 248 billion. And the total money that Nigerians spent to go to Mecca this year is put at over 700 billion. That is more than $500 million. Government's money, people's money. So even people's money is more than government's money. Just so you know, people pay their own money, okay? But the government used them to steal money by saying we are sponsoring you too, and the money were released. So why those they were sending to go and to the Holy Land to go and pray for Nigeria, instead of them to start packing their bag and preserving themselves. Now swallow, some of them they take. Swallow. Look at these two guys. Fatai Yekini and Ilakemi. These guys were supposed to be going to Saudi Arabia to pray for Nigeria. But guess what they were doing? They were swallowing cocaine.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100.
How many?
100, sir.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 100.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Ẹ lọ sílẹ̀ mímọ́, ilẹ̀ mímọ́. Place where you want go ask for forgiveness for Nigeria. But you they carry 100 wrap of a cocaine. But it is what it is. I will be surprised if those who believes that praying to Allah, praying to God, praying to this one and that. Because in case if you don't know, those guys were caught inside one hotel Atoshodi in Lagos. So they were there, they were supposed to kind of, that woman was supposed to travel, maybe they were supposed to go to Mecca last night. What did I say to you on this platform? That no matter what you are going through, I beg you in the name of whatever you believe in, do not get yourselves involved in anything drug smuggling. You are going to sacrifice your life, your health, and everything. And if you really value your life, if anybody is asking you by any trick or anything at all, whatever you are promised, don't ever get yourselves involved in a swallowing drug. I know you have heard this many times, so you will never become a millionaire or multimillionaire for swallowing drugs. No, you won't. You are just a mule. You are just a carrier. If one rap exploded inside you, you are dead. These guys will open you up, okay? They will take their drugs. They will dump your body. Swallowing drug in this 2024 is the most stupid thing anybody can do. The most stupid thing. Then you want to carry drug, go Saudi Arabia. Eh? They will never see you again. Like they will never see you again. There are countries where we say, if they send you there, they are sending you to your death. There is no amount of, there's no amount of poverty. There is no amount of desperation. There is no amount of ignorance that should make you take the route of a drug smuggling. I beg you, please. And I actually said something about selling your organ. Please. No matter what people tells you about this, and don't get involved in human trafficking where people are smuggling drugs for you. I know humanity is almost dead, but humanity is not dead. We all just need to pay attention and feel concerned. They are lucky that they were caught in Nigeria. They will go to jail for 5 years and they will be released. With good behavior, no record of anything at all, they will spend their 3 years. And they will be released into Nigeria, harsher, and their lives worse than before. You can do anything, no, but please don't get yourselves involved in drug smuggling. It is too dangerous, except if you don't really value your lives. And there are many people who don't really care anymore. And at the end of the day, it actually sound like I'm actually talking to the wall. But I care. I do. And just this afternoon, is it this afternoon or this morning? Early this morning, as the custom officials were resuming into their office in Lagos, they were chased out again by smoke. We have no idea what this is all about, but we hope everybody is safe. So we hope everyone is safe, okay? And a bit of follow-up on this El-Rufai's probe in Kaduna. El-Rufai has now been indicted by a committee set up to investigate his own criminality as governor of Kaduna for 8 years. More allegations are already popping up that normally if you have to take a loan, you have to take the permission of your own status of assembly. So they said that El-Rufai actually forged the signature of the then speaker in obtaining some of the loans that are now the debt on Kaduna states. I know nothing will likely happen, but I have already started seeing I stand with El-Rufai, I stand with El-Rufai online. I told you, You see, Nigerians don't really hate corruption. I'll keep reminding you. Majority of Nigerians just don't like the fact that they are not the ones benefiting from that corruption. And that is why Nigerians love their own oppressors differently. To them, this is persecution. One of them even said, this is not even a case of whether he stole money or he didn't loot money. The thing is that some people are trying to tarnish his image. Are you mad? Bro, are you mad? No, you're mad, man. You're mad, bro. What do you mean by this is not an issue of whether he looted or he didn't loot? Are you mad? They just indicted him with evidence. And there you are asking, this is not a matter of if he looted money or he didn't loot money. What do you mean by this is not a matter of? You're mad, man. Come on. You should be. But that's the situation of Nigeria, where you have criminals. You see, you have the enablers, the voluntary slaves, who would defend their own oppressors, but because they cannot afford them, they cannot afford to see their oppressors punished for their crimes. So it's going to be like, hey, what about you? It's because of Kiniko. They leave him alone. He's not the only person. He did a lot. He helped us. He built the road to my village. So if he stole a 430-something billion naira, leave him. But listen to the speaker. Partly.
That the total amount of money siphoned by the Kaduna State government from 29 May 2015 and 29 May 2023 was 423 billion 115 million and 28,072 naira 88 kobo. The committee found devious transactions, suspicious transaction, diversion, directly or indirectly, through different accounts by using special SPV account to siphon some of or most of all these monies extracted from same statement of account of various individuals, companies were detected. Honorable members, the liability, the contractual liability was 311 billion. Then money siphoned or diverted 423 billion. A case study: in 1 or in 50 days, a travel agency was paid 1.3 billion naira. In just 40 days, a travel agency was paid 1.3 billion naira. In another reference, 80 million naira was paid into an individual that is neither an elected or an appointed employee of the government, but was paid 80 million naira for interest. Again, $2.8 million meant for development or construction or reconstruction or renovation of our primary health care, when it was changed to naira, from dollar to naira, the exchange gain was diverted to a friend of the suspicious occupant of that positions, directly into the account. The account, the number of the account, the bank, and everything.
Hey, the vile little man. El Rufaya, Mr. Body Bag, Kaduna Little Finger, Kaduna Little Hitler, Nasiru, El Rufaya is currently battling for his life. But he's up to the task. He's responded and he said, no, you guys are wrong. I served Kaduna State with dignity and not a place. But this guy has something to say, explaining what happened in Kaduna. Listen.
Of fair hearing as prescribed by our laws, but then let me allow you to listen to what Governor El-Rufai's team and Governor El-Rufai's thoughts are about what he has done. That statement was titled, El-Rufai led a government of integrity and competent governance. And part of that statement reads, and I quote, we have not been availed of a copy of the report to which we would respond robustly whenever we obtain it. We affirm the integrity of the El-Rufai government and dismiss the scandalous claims being aired as a report of the committee. Malam Nasir El-Rufai is immensely proud of his record of governance and the legacy he left in Kaduna State. It is sad to see such a shameful departure from any notion of decency and fairness by a state legislature. We dismiss with contempt the claims being peddled in connection with the report. Spokesperson of the House in Kaduna, how do you react to this?
Now, Sean, when you talk of integrity, you came on board from 1965 to when he was handed over power to. The total debt taken by Kaduna State government is in the region of $235 million. In the 8th year of his reign, he single-handedly took $758 million. By the time he came into office in 2015, the domestic debt incurred by the debt was completely wiped off. He came in, there was zero debt. And then they left behind for him monies that he mocked up through TSA worth about 34 billion to kick off his government with. Now, go back and check in his handing over notes how much he left behind as debt for us. How much he left behind as debt. And then the monies he collected to execute this project, if you come to Kaduna, over 60% of these projects are abandoned. And it will take Kaduna 20 years to even complete what he left behind. So where is integrity? These things ordinarily should raise questions from every common man on the street. That is why everybody is interested in this matter. There are several millions of dollars collected from African Development Bank, Islamic Bank, to execute specific projects that were never done. We are waiting for them. We are waiting his response. Let us see how they will shamelessly respond to these things. These are documents. These are documents available in public offers.
So, whatever is cooking in Kaduna, you can count me in. I shall be there when it is done. We shall consume everything together. And I bet some of you will miss it too. Right? These were the rogues that were being paraded as better people with leadership quality in a country where they have become so miseducated and uneducated people who can only read and write. And now the critical thinker for that shithole. And that is why criminals will continue to rebrand themselves and then take another higher position to also unleash. I mean, El-Rufai was a minister in Abuja. He wrecked havoc. They said, oh, he redesigned Abuja. He made Abuja great in order to make him look good and feel good. So he became the governor. He wrecked Kaduna State. Now, one of them said the wreck he left can never be cleared in the next 20 years. But we have those who are already saying, he's getting ready for 2027. El-Rufai is going to be the one that the northern Nigeria is going to. A useless place that seems like rudderless to like leaderless, rudderless, and no direction. A vessel or a ship that has no captain, no thinker, no nothing. Destined to sink. And I will be there. I will be there in the gallery watching the collapse of the entire contraption. We will be there. Continue to pop them up. Okay? That is just it there. I wanted to add something about the workers, but I'm thinking maybe I should just open the line and start our charts. Okay? Like, I can keep the rest of this stuff for the later. But it will not be fair if I do not show to you Asari Dokudum's latest request on behalf of the Biafrans. And he's also trying to speak like us. Let us discuss this contraption. Let the Igbos go. Even a terrible clock, a broken clock, can be right twice in a day. In the morning and in the afternoon. Asari Dokudum.
If it were only myself, if I'm the president, I will give Igbos the right to go and have their Biafra. And anybody from Delta or anywhere who want to join them to have their Biafra. After all, Lesotho is in the center of South Africa. So that they will have their Biafra. We don't need them. We don't need Igbo. We don't need them. Let them go. Mr. President, let all the other nationalities, let us meet. If Igbo said they want to go, let us allow them to go. It's not just in Kanu. Let us meet. Let us convoke a conference. I will stand. We will remain. Let us allow them to go. Within the identified borders. As long as they will never come and irritate us any longer. They will stay in their Biafra. And from today, I want to start the movement. Let the Igbos go. That is my new movement now. Let the Igbos go. Let them go. We will see who will blink first. The President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, I am begging you in the name of God, please and please, all the political stakeholders in the North, everybody, how long will we continue to have this irritation among us? This is not the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. Since 1992 when I encountered you, I don't think this is the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. That calls me his friend, and I call him my friend, and calls me my son, and I call him my father. This is not Ahmed. I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The job people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
We must learn a lesson.
We must learn a lesson. So that was the study there. Okay? It's that fraction. Let the Igbos go. Let us have this conversation. And you will discover not only the Igbos want to go. Please, let's have that conversation, please. So I won't take calls, okay? But I want you to join me to wish this, my very good friend, a happy birthday. Today is his birthday. And they made a song for him. So I'm going to play that for all of us. So, Banshaw, happy birthday to you, okay? Today is your day. and I do wish I could probably spend some part of it with you. So, together, the members of the temple, please join me and wish my friend a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you, Tunde Oyedele. Lẹ́yìn of the 6th of June, ó bá ẹ láyé o. Papa Abba baby, mi dé mi sọ́lá o. Soccer connection, Tunde tó jẹ dọ́là. Ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ á ṣe púpọ̀, Tunde mi bá ṣọ. Tunde, when I am down, I know my soul so weary. When troubles come, am I abundant me? When I am sick, I stay here in the darkness until you come and sit a while with me. Tunde Loni, you raise me up so I can stand on mountain. You raise me up to walk on stormy sea. I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
What
shall I say? Thank you,
Thank you, Lord. Right. Yeah, they made him a song, okay, and it's quite classy, right? So Agbeke heard the song, and she was like, I want that for my birthday. I was like, shut up. You can have it, though. Yeah, you can have it for your birthday, but maybe I told her, I said, you'll be surprised that people are so creative, right? They can even put your name in your own favorite song. They sing it for you that way, that you can dance early in the morning and all that. So happy birthday, Baba. So yes, thank you so much, 2324, for that, your super chat. I also want to say a big thank you to all of you that have actually really bought me coffee. Let me give you one thing idea about crowdfunding. Do you know that you can, if I have, for example, let's say I have, like we always have regularly, I have, let's say, 2,000 people watching me, or 3,000 people. And then out of the 3,000, 100 of you chooses to buy me a coffee not every evening. Buy me a coffee every week. 100 people. You know what that would do for me, right? It's going to give me a support of $500. Not all of it, though. So I'm just kind of looking at that crowdfund like, oh, man, that's so kind of creative, but it has to also come from the area of generosity. So I've seen people use that link. So thank you very much to those of you who have, okay? So you can actually give me or buy me a cup of coffee. There is a link there. You can use the PayPal. You can use my GoFundMe. It's always open. This is for those who always ask, how can we be of help? How can we support what you do? That's how you can. Especially now that I have bills, right? I used to do this in my house, right? But now I've got to run an office. So yeah, buying me a coffee will really make a lot of sense now. So those of you who have done that, you are doing the Lord's work. So thank you. So I'm going to take a break, okay? And that break, when I come back, I can take calls, okay? And that could be me and you talking. So the number is on your screen, if you can still see it. And when I get back, we shall continue. It won't be long, just 2 minutes. speaking tongue. Again, sorry if I missed your call. All right. Now the line is really opened. Okay. So if I pick your call and it is, I kind of put you on hold. It is just for you to wait before I bring you on. So it is not like disconnected. No, not disconnected. Or I'll probably have like, I can't hear you. Or I am talking and you are talking and you realize that it's not like I'm talking to you. I do not have to. All right. Just know that the moment I turn back to you and I'm like, hello, and that is you. You're short. Okay. So yeah, to those who want to be part of this, indeed, it has to be through the line. Okay. You have to call in and do that as usual. And then if we have an issue with the line, which I hope not, right? Then we just have to like shift it, shift it to the next hour. So thank you so much, everyone who has really turned up and shared this. Those of you who have joined us midway, or you joined us towards that break time, indeed, you can possibly start watching it from the start, okay? Or you can just hang in there and have or be part of the phone chat or conversation. You don't have to leave, right? So let me take one and see how this goes. Hello there.
Good morning, Maiyegun.
Good morning, Baba. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm very well, sir. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I thanks for the enlightenment, and in fact, I watch the program, particularly the bill that is going on in the National Assembly. What I can
They have
just
told us now that even the cows are Nigerians there. They have the same right as the cows. The cows have the same right as Nigerians. I still have some of those clips I have not played though, but I'll keep them for the later. Horrible people.
Yes, but one thing, which we have to know here is that number one, if you go to Southwest, there's some really part of Ondo State now. There may be a serious hunger, to come, because one, particularly the weather condition, the rain didn't fall on time, one. Two, and so many people have abandoned their farm because of the Fulani's problem. They've abandoned their farm. Imagine farmers going to other farmers asking for food. Is that not a taboo? It's a taboo.
It is.
Yeah, it is a taboo. And that is one. And then two is that the governors in the Southwest, what is their problem? I believe that if there should be many steps ahead. Step ahead in the sense that if they are talking about the rearing of cattle is not an exclusive right of the Fulanis. Why can't they pull resources together and have a very big, company that we have cows, healthy cows, just like Elumelu said, healthy cows that then we can get meat, get a lot of things from, and then that will satisfy our distance, so that by the time it's just like what is called there is something economists they call is it monopolistic competition, whereby you see the Fulani will be there running, but you will be here running your own. But at the end of the day, by the time they see that you have the upper hand and your own eclipse their own, nobody will tell them to leave, because they will not be able to make it again. So, and your own will now be dominant. So I don't know why they cannot pull those resources together, but we keep on blaming, maybe the Northerners, that the Northerners are doing. The Northerners are not supposed to be blamed. We're supposed to blame ourselves, because if Southwest is hungry, it is the responsibility of the government, because I know when we are very small, in the early days, my father used to go to local government to go and collect, chemicals, at reduced price for cocoa, fumigation.
Fertilizers,
But it's not, those things are gone now. They are gone. Does it mean that there is no money? There is money now, but the money is going to private pocket, and the people.
Let me show you something. I remember what you are just saying now, right? Where all these people, they have some of them who work for the local government areas who carry all of their own their boxes with the chemical, and they will come to your farm and help you spray them in case if there's going to be any threat of insects invasion or something like that. Okay.
Yes.
Then, right? In Nigeria,
Yes.
Nigerian NEPA used to have helicopters of their own that they used to go on to check on all of the power lines. So if you check your screen right now, maybe these two can bring back some memories, right? Nigerian NEPA,
yes.
They used to have their own chopper. And they have this chopper, right, to inspect all of the power lines to see if there's any problem anywhere, okay? And they can easily fix them in case of any power cut or what have you. Whether there is power cut or not, Nigeria used to have all this functional system, right? Until corruption eats everything away. Baba.
Yeah, it's so bad that I don't know, because we keep on blaming this one, you blame this one, but you're supposed to blame yourself first, because even the north you are talking about, I remember there was a time I was in the north. Could you believe that I went into farming? So what they were doing was that, all these onions, tomatoes, pepper, what they do, the government, they already earmarked the land. They will sell the land for you for 25 naira. So they've done all the irrigation, equipment are already there. The seedlings are there at subsidized, rate. And you go to local government to go and collect chemicals for your this thing. And coppers, even the coppers were involved in the farming. You could use, sometimes, I was a teacher in one of the schools. Where the farm is, there is a road that passes through that place to the market. I will go and stand there, on the market day. I will go and stand there. Where are your pepper? I want that. By the time I give this a pepper, then this one okra, this one. Could you believe sometimes the money I will realize it's up to my, sometimes in a day it's up to my salary. So those things, those are those. I know that those things will not be there now because of this terrorists. Mm-hmm. Those things are cancelled in the way we cancel now. So, but why can't the southern government or governors, have an agenda whereby farmers can be supported? Because I believe that if farmers are supported in the south, we have the land. I believe that
they are not. It's not their priority. It is no longer their priority. They want to build the airports. Okay, they want to build a 5-lane highway to nowhere, not to farms. So where the people are growing food and not, they will need good road. No, they want to do all this because it is easier and faster to rip the state off, rip the people off, than to really invest, like you are saying, to really invest in the people. They won't.
And so, but the question now is that what legacy are they going to leave behind? That okay, you rule states or where the citizens, went, hungry. Is that the legacy you are going to leave behind?
Yeah, that's their legacy.
It's not this thing. So, and again, when we are talking about, we'll be talking, because sometimes when I tune in, I'll be hearing things about this, our religious leaders. also. Honestly, when we look at the Bible, I don't know, if you really check the Bible very well, you discover that it is not the prophet of those days that goes to this king. Is the king that feared. They feared the prophet of those days. Take for example, if they say Elisha is coming to a particular place, even the king of that place will be trembling. That, what is Elisha coming for again? No, what is he coming for again? Because they maintain their integrity. They won't just go and take anything. Look at Elisha. When you discover there was this little girl that they captured, in Syria, that the master has a leprosy. They call his name Ham. He has leprosy. So he now told the wife that there is a prophet in Israel that can heal this man. They are the usual medicine. Instead of the king of Syria to contact the prophet, he contacted the king of Israel to heal this man. The man tore his cloth. He said, am I in the position of God to heal? He said, no, I can't do this thing. But when Elisha had it, he said, ask the man to come. He said the man should come. When he heard that the king tore his cloth, he just told the man, go and wash in River Jordan for 7 times. The man was like, so there's no better river for you to go and wash in the river. The servant persuaded him, said, go. The man washed, and then this. But he gave, why I'm going that he gave Elisha gift. Elisha refused. He refused it. So, but when you compare it to what is happening today, even though the man didn't even give today, they will ask.
They will threaten you.
Would you give me something for this? So I believe that though there is something we have to note, is that I continue to say it. We may castigate most of them, but there are some that have been reserved, just like what happened in Israel that time. That when Elijah was saying that he is the only prophet that have not bowed his knee, to Baal. God says, shut up, I reserve 7,000 who have not bowed their knees to Baal. There are some who still maintain their integrity. But one thing we have to note is this. They said, how do you know a true prophet? How do you know a true man of God? Because the question is that there is no anybody that is clamoring, do all kind of things, all this shenanigans. Is talking about religion. When Jesus was alive, when Jesus was with us here, when he was here with us, Jesus did not talk about religion. What the message we are to preach as Christians is Jesus. Anything that different from Jesus, write it off. Take for example, if you want to do something now, you ask yourself, what will Jesus do? What will Jesus do in this matter? So that is what you're supposed to ask. If you have that guiding principle.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I love the perspective or from the angle you've chosen to deliver that your message. And I know people who are actually very much vast, right, in the Bible and all that. They are much blessed to hear that from you, because you kind of said what I would say in a biblical way, and the message is still passed. So thank you. Okay. And you have a good one. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So because of our timing as well, all right, I was thinking that we could possibly have maybe 1 or 2 more calls before we call it a day, and I can possibly go get myself ready for the evening, possibly, if I'm going to be on. Okay. So, however, if you are still here with me, right, I seem to be having a bit of an issue with that line. Okay. So please like the broadcast if you haven't already. share it. That is also if you haven't done that. Maybe subscribe too if you haven't as well. Or if you do have one or two things to say yourself, right? The number to call is right there on the screen. Again, I want to say a very, very, very big thank you. I don't know if I should say your name, or I choose not to possibly say all your names all the time anymore. Those of you are indeed, you know what I mean, supporting this platform with your own widow's mite or token. However, I will take maybe just one more. Okay, and I can go get it for the evening. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Maiyegun.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm good. This is Adeza from Edinburgh.
Adeza.
Yeah, from Edinburgh.
There you are. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. Good to have you here then. Please.
Yeah, I just want to make references to what is happening in Nigeria. Like what is happening in Kaduna now. Recently, what happened in Kogi State regarding the governor spending 80 billion and the governor of Kaduna over 400 billion. Can you now see the reason why the state are not growing or they are not developing? Because this money these guys are stealing are meant for the developmental purposes. When you go to this state, even the internal roads are supposed to be built by the government. They didn't do it. No hospital, no schools, everything. But my pain is that the people they have subjected to this suffering, they are some are still supporting them. Understand? When they see a platform like this that they're supposed to appreciate, they will not be criticizing the platform that is exposing the rot that their leaders are doing. So these are some of the things. Whenever I listen, I hear things, I became amazed. Are these people actually thinking at all? Are they reasoning? These are the people who are subjected to the suffering. This money they stole is meant to build house, to build the road. Even in the old, say that what they call state low cost. These houses that the state government built as an investment for the state, that the civil servants, they will, just as we do mortgage here, they will occupy it and they will be paying it until they pay and it become their own. Today you cannot find all those kind of things in Nigeria anymore. Rather, the oppressor, they were using it responsibly their children, doing all manner of things. And the people they subjected to this suffering, they are still celebrating them. It is very, very unfortunate. As regarding the National Assembly, do you know the reason why we are facing what we are facing in Nigeria now, that there is nothing like a National Assembly anymore? Understand? They are just there for figuratively. There's nothing like that again. Because all this that Kolu is doing is going scot-free with it. The National Assembly have the power to what? To stop all these things. You remember that during Lawan said anything that the president brings, he will just sign it. That's what he did all throughout his year. He left there. Everything, either good or bad, they will just sign it. Even when people say no, he said that it will say it's I that have it. He will just sign it. And it will become this thing. All this they are doing. Like when you look at the postal, this thing that did not pass through procurement, did not pass through other this thing, this National Assembly can halt it. And also see the speed at which National Assembly pass this national anthem. Among all the things that Nigerians are suffering on, it is the changing of nationality that is their priority. You can see the type of leader.
They turn around and say Nigerians should be patient. Patient to be finished. Patient until they are all dead.
No, the challenge is that what happened this week, I'm very unhappy with Labour. Very, very unhappy with Labour. Because that strike, for the first time since even throughout the Buhari time, till now, they've never had a strike that are strong as that one that they have for money. Very effective. I was thinking if they should have hold on to 1 week and tell them a lot of things will change in Nigeria. and they went back to negotiation, and they said, we will give you above 60,000, and they said they are relaxing it. It doesn't make sense. And that's why Nigeria's worker or Nigerians, they doesn't take Ajero and his colleagues serious. Because whenever they start any fight, they don't achieve results. And they will come back. So if peradventure, the government did not give them what they want, or even half of what they want again, they will not say, let's go back to strike. It doesn't make sense from a reasonable person. When you come to religion in Nigeria, I think most of the religious leaders too, because of the government policies, has even made many people to become enslaved to this religious leader. When you look at from the beginning, understand, religion, understand, most of these people that are doing this now, they were beneficial of these missionary schools. It is expected that any church that has a school, that school supposed to be a missionary school. And a missionary school, supposed to even be cheaper than the government, because they are meant to bring the downtrodden, those people who have been right up that they are not going to be anybody in life. This legal university school is supposed to bring them up. But unfortunately, most of these schools, they are even more expensive than the commercial school in Nigeria. And to make the matter worse, I told somebody yesterday, I said, of what value is gold if it cannot be mined? How can you be a member of a particular denomination? Your denomination be the university, and your daughter, your son cannot attend it. And you're sitting there clapping. I said, clapping. And these people in question,
asking God for miracle.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Their children are abroad. You see children, they born in your presence in that same church. They send him abroad. I went abroad, school, I come back. I see bending down, greet him, and call him mommy and daddy. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Doesn't.
And finally, if those who are still hoping for a better Nigeria in 2027, until they bring, I don't know why INEC, the chairman of INEC, Mahmoud, is still allotting the affairs of INEC today. This is one of the things I want Obedient to really look at. If they are looking for a way where things will be better for them, because the other election they did after 2023 general election, nothing is good about it.
No.
If they are still looking to hold any election in the future, I think Mahmoud should not be heading that agency. Understand?
They should be making a demand that everybody there should be out and independent.
All the commissioner, the Mahmoud, all of them, they must go. If they are looking for a better thing that can even say is better in the future, and the judiciary too. So these are the two agencies that really play a very negative role and brought this monster to us that is destroyed everywhere. So this is my kind of advice to obedient people. If they really want a change in the future, now let that man step down now.
Adeza.
So thank you so much, my brother.
Much again as well, right?
All right.
You have a good afternoon. Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you.
That's Adeza there from Edinburgh. Here in Scotland. That Edinburgh is actually the capital of Scotland. So when Scotland become independent, right? Except that changes. So Edinburgh will be the capital. Small but beautiful. And if you haven't if you have never visited the place, you should please visit. And yeah, I think on that note, let us bring this chat to a close as the first part of what is still going to be today. All right. And then we can go get ready for later in the evening. But before then, there is going to be a replay of last night that is going to pop up after this video. Okay. If you missed that last night or you missed some of the premiere this morning, you can indeed catch up. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the replay too. I will be back later. Until then, you have a good one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ ọ́ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary. mọ̀ láwọn tó jódodo.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Maiyegun diary politico.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe. Fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣeré. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o. Ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni.
ó fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.